Hello and welcome back to VoTY Broadcast. This is introducing a new series of VoTY Broadcast, VoTY Frontline. We'll be talking to supporters of the Voice of the Youth who have been supporting the Voice of the Youth on YouTube, in politics and elsewhere, and we'll be discussing their knowledge and the discussion that they bring to the public eye and that they trace to the youth. VoTY is a space for the youth's voice to be spread, and this new podcast brings connection to these new networks, and through these new networks, the voice of the youth will be further spread. We are introducing today OverTurnZ, a long since connected network of VoTY, and I've appeared on their podcast Unresponsive once before. The link will be pasted in the description about OverTurnZ, and you'll be able to find their YouTube channel where you'll be able to find their videos as well as their podcasts. There will also be a link there to the website where you can find the above too. Okay, Legend, briefly describe to me the vision you had when you were helping to create OverTurnZ.
Okay, can I just say, before I found VoTY, I was nothing. My life was meaningless. I sold Mr. Prank's hair for money. My life was a bleak existence. I even joined OverTurnZ, that's how depressed I had become. But then, a miracle happened. I found my holy grail. A messiah appeared into my life in the form of Ben Luke. He blessed me with his sponsorship, and suddenly I was not depressed anymore. The sun came out again. The animals laughed. Mr. Prank grew some hair. And the world was happy again. I really would like to thank you, Ben Luca, and the entire Voice of the Youth Corporation so much for this sponsorship. Thank you.
Well, I have to thank a legend there for his impromptu gratitude he expressed there to VoTY. Now, Legend, could you just briefly describe the vision you had when you actually helped to create OverTurnZ?
Right, so OverTurnZ is, I have to say, a predominantly gaming channel. Obviously, there's the podcast, which Mr. Prank will explain. But the gaming side, there's a whole variety of different games. We're always trying to do different content. We're trying to do a variety of content. And different people do different stuff. So, for example, and also, it's not just YouTube, like other OverTurnZ social media handles are controlled by different people in OverTurnZ. So it's a widespread platform. It's a network across lots of different platforms where we can just do whatever we want to do, be whatever we want to be.
Now, Mr. Prank, can you tell us a bit more about your podcast, Unresponsive, and the issues you discuss within it?
So, in our podcast, which we have created, co-founded, we normally discuss a lot of political issues, including sometimes we talk about entertainment and sport, but generally speaking, we talk about political issues which surround the country, we discuss the news, etc.
And tell me a little bit about how that podcast, you believe, would help to spread your opinions personally and also the opinions of the wider youth.
Yes, we don't really like to categorize the whole of the youth in one thing. We like to have different viewpoints on our podcast. And we think that YouTube is the best way to spread this message because social media is the future. So it is the best way to spread your message.
Sorry, Legend, can you just tell me a little bit about how you use the different platforms to really get a wide range of opinions and readership and viewership on your podcasts, Unresponsive, as well as your gaming videos?
I'm gonna be quite honest. The people who are meant to be handling the Instagram, the Twitter of OverTurnZ, they are slacking. I'm pretty sure Mr. Prank is on the verge of firing them. But when it comes to YouTube mainly, we pretty much we reflect the views of ourselves. But when random people we don't know like comment, say, "Oh yeah, this is nice," it feels good. And so we try a lot of different things, and obviously the podcast is where you don't do gaming. There's not an actual video. You just sit down and you just talk about whatever you want to talk about. And there's no real structure to it. Like, I know the VoTY broadcasts are very, very structured, which is good, because VoTY broadcasts are predominantly news based. But for the Unresponsive podcast, which is pretty much it's a more relaxed kind of environment where you can pretty much just say whatever you want, as long as it's not the N-word.
Yeah, absolutely. And then tell me a bit more about the gaming videos that you produce on your YouTube.
So the gaming videos, I don't think we've ever made a second video of one game. So we did one where we played Among Us. We did one where we played Surviv.io. I can't remember the rest. A lot of these videos also get deleted because we just don't feel they're good enough to actually get released. Like, maybe the content wasn't good enough. It's like some about, I'd say, like 30% of all videos that we make actually don't make it to the public. And it's just the gaming it's a complete variety. I don't think I can say, oh no, we play one specific game. No, it's a variety. So yeah, I think Surviv.io, Among Us, there's a bunch of other stuff I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
Okay. And Legend, tell me a bit more about what you have planned for the gaming videos and your platforms, the various platforms that you host.
So I think the aim is to put more content on the Instagram and Twitter handles, because as I said, Mr. Prank is on the verge of firing them, and on the game, in regards to the gaming videos, I think now that the lockdowns are like finished, we can start doing a bit more like outside videos. So maybe a bit more like sports challenges and stuff. I know if you know Dan Man, he's taking care of that. He's making sure that that's going to happen. Obviously, it's difficult with COVID and that, but he is trying to make it happen. So yes, I'm pretty sure the gaming will continue, but yeah, you can expect sports challenges as well. So
yeah, and then Mr. Prank, just tell me a little bit more about how OverTurnZ works as an organisation. You explained that lots of different people hold different roles. Does that help to spread opinions more evenly across the network? Mr. Prank.
I could answer this if you want.
Sorry, I thought you were
Go ahead.
talking to Legend. Yes, I think that the different roles that everyone has in the organisation results in a more even spread of opinion, as certain people who hold certain views can express them, and they are free to express their views without any fear.
Yeah. And then for those who perhaps, Mr. Prank, and then I'll move on to Legend, Mr. Prank, for those who are wanting to perhaps get their voices heard in any of these issues, whether it be sport, whether it be gaming, whether it's politics, issues of today, and they really want to get their voices heard, how would you encourage them to do that? Maybe if they wanted to be part of an organisation or create an organisation themselves, how would you empower or encourage members of the youth to empower themselves to take part in these organisations?
To empower them, we keep our podcast open to anyone. Anyone can join our podcasts. We don't really have any rules to who is allowed and who is not. So I think availability is of importance here. And also, we empower them by, first of all, lead by example. So you've got to first make sure that your own views are heard, and that inspires just practically automatically for other people to come and join as well.
Legend, what are your opinions about how we can help and to empower the youth to spread their opinions on whatever subject?
So I think it's a very good idea. In the past, we've had a couple of people ask us that if to come on Unresponsive to promote their views or what they think about something. And me and myself and Mr. Prank have been like completely supportive of that. We've been like, yeah, sure, if you whatever you want to say, come say it. And so I think it's Unresponsive is a very good platform for people wanting to spread their ideas, even just a small channels looking for promotions and stuff. In regards to empowering the youth, well, I'd pretty much say the same thing. Just like Mr. Prank said, lead by example. If we get our voices heard, people will see that, they'll recognise that, two people are striving to get their voices heard, so they will also aim to do the same.
Absolutely. And what you've really shown, both of you, Mr. Prank and Legend, is that OverTurnZ helps to offer a wide base of opinions, and it helps us really spread those across the platforms. You've shown how you can help to encourage people, empower people to have their opinions heard, to encourage them that their opinions can be listened to. And it's not just on the issue of politics, not just on the issue of representation. You also open it up to all other topics that people might be interested in. And what I think it does is it really helps to inspire all those who maybe have an interest in all those different topics. And that, of course, is something that the VoTY also tries to do as well. So I think what you've shown is you are on the front line, OverTurnZ, of spreading the voice of the youth. And VoTY and yourself, OverTurnZ, can really help to do this, to empower the youth, to really spread their opinions, have ideas, have their own ideas, and not to become kind of under the flow of the modern consensus, but to really get their own opinions and spread them individually. And this also is the idea of VoTY Frontline. This is our first episode, and in this episode we've shown how OverTurnZ has helped to be our frontline.
I'm very proud to be part of the
VoTY
Frontline movement. I'm sure it will be very successful, and I'm very proud to have been a part of something so big.
And I'm sure by listening to this podcast, you are offering your support to the hugely important movement that is the voice of the youth. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.